Yes. Okay, good afternoon, all, Bade. Yes, good afternoon, all. Yes. Lastly, did you remember? Yes. We finishing all the theories. After that, one we will continue practical continuously. Okay, don't worry. Sure, sure. So we will do that on later on. Okay, best of all, we continue these practicals with you. Okay, when you consider these things. Okay, what are things? So you are going to choose at last. We are writing. Okay, how to what? Insert with the design view. When we are using in this access software, I said what? How to what? We are going to choose the best field in the primary key and set it. Okay, I said how to select the best field in the primary key and how to set up that one. Okay. Finally, we set that one. So we will move from that thing. Okay, we route the odd. What is the steps that you have to following on? So there are first of all you have to open Microsoft Access software and secondly select the field that you wanted to set as the primary key and last select the primary key button to top left of the screen. Okay, we set that thing and also you can use the primary key option with the other way. Okay, now you have to go to the creating a query option. The next thing you are have to go for the creating queries. Okay, creating a query. When we discuss about creating a query, so computer games database only contain a small amount of data. So computer normally write down this today part, creating a query. Okay. Normally when you consider computer games, the databases only contain a small amount of data. It can be contain only a small amount of data. Okay, some databases can be take okay. Sometime it can be take what? The databases there can be have very large of amount. Something like in our school system, there have a lot of students. We have to enter each and every student details. Okay, like that one, there can be used what? Very large amount of data. So for that purpose, we should be looking for the piece of data or record in the computer games database will be easy. Okay, that looking for the what certain piece of data database can be what hundreds or thousands of record would be take long time if you what if you want if you had to do with your it's okay if you are taking more and more data. It may be taken what? It's very hard to what? Finding. Yes, if you are looking for the certain piece of data, database had hundred of thousands of record would take long time if you had to do with just your eyes. If you are taking with your eyes, it may be take more time. Yes, it may be take more and more time. It's very hard. Okay, if you are doing with your eyes or if you are searching with your own things, it's very hard. So you can enter what something special keyword or something like that. It's very easy. So database software let you create type of search called is what query. So something like that when you are typing something, that calling create a type of search called a query. Otherwise, if there are not having queries, it takes much time. It's very hard. It's take much time. It's very hard to find the details like that. So it's better to use a query. So actually query is what? Query, query is a request for data that meet what certain criteria. A query is actually a request for data that meets certain criteria. For example, a query could be show all you data computer games that puzzle format. If you type in like puzzle, it may be. containing the data of the parcel, like that one. Okay, can you write this underline part? So looking for certain piece of data in a database that has hundred or thousand of records. It maybe have hundreds, otherwise thousand of records. So it would take long time if you had to do with your just your eyes. If you are finding with just your eyes, take more and more time. So database software, okay, the database software lets you create a type of what search calling query. Because of that, there can be used database software. It lets you create a type of search calling query. So actually a query is request for what data that meets certain criteria. It is a request for data that meets what certain criteria. That's called what query. Query is what request for data that meets certain criteria. So for example, you can take a query could be show the computer games that with as a puzzle format or something like that. Okay, can you write, please? Okay, so maybe have looking for the certain some data. The database can be hundred or thousand of record. It would take what long time if you had to do it with just your eyes. Okay, database software. It lets what create type of search call query. So it's a query is a request for what data that meets certain criteria. For example, a query could show all the what computer games that use for the puzzle format. Something like for puzzle format. Okay. So like that one we call as query. Like that thing we can call it as query. Okay. Right. Okay, write it quickly. Okay, you can write like that. So these are the things. So please write that underline part. Yes, you wrote no. Yes, we will move forward. So you can take like that. Okay. Okay, like that you can continue. Okay, I will move forward. So create a query in the database software. So when you create a query with the database software, you can use what these two steps mainly. Or select the create tab of the top screen and set the query design. They are having a query design. Query means something like table. So this is the first step you have to follow it up. What select the create tab. Okay, when you are creating query database software, you have to create what? Create tab from the toolbar of the top screen and select the option query design from the toolbar. From that, you can select the option called query design. Okay. From that, you can select the option called query design. So this will be open new tab in the design query. After that one, open a new tab that is used to the design query. Okay, write it. That's the next step you have to follow it up. Okay, write it down, please. Write it. Yes, write it. Okay, you wrote it, no? That's the main few steps you have to following up. Yes. And next one. Now you can create a query like this. We will see later on. It may be seen like this. Now you already create a query. Now you have to enter some data for query. We are going to create a query that shows us all the but simulation games of the distance, something like that. Okay, now there can be user query. So when you are creating that one, double click the what table that you want to search from the add table. They are having a call option calling add table. Now with the query, now what can you do? If you thinking like that, you are going to create a query that shows the simulator game database, something like that. Any database, anyone simulator game or something like any database. Okay, you are trying to creating that one. When you are trying to creating that one, first of all, you have to double click the table that you wanted to search from. First of all, you have to double click the table that you wanted to search from the add table panel at the right and should display the list field that table in the middle screen and select the field that you wanted to query. You will be need to choose. Okay, so field that you wanted to use query and field you wanted to display result in the query. You can click what places can be selected and you can click what should be displayed at last. You can click what should be displayed at last. That are things. Okay, can you write down this thing also? These are the steps. Okay, take time, it's fine. Write down them. Please write it. Yes. Okay, right. Write them, okay? You can do this kind of steps like that. Okay, write it. Yes, this. Okay, you can following up like that. Okay, so we are going to create a query that allows us all what simulating games and the database. So when you double click table, you wanted to search from what at table parallel on the right. Okay, so this should be display the list of the field that what from the table on the middle of the screen and select the fields that you need to what use the query. So you will need to choose the field that you wanted to use in the query and the field that you wanted to display result in the query. Okay, that's it. Okay, you can write like that. Yes. Okay, yes. You can write like that, no? Yes. Do you don't know? Yes, I believe you are wrote this. Okay, yes. We will move. So you have to create query that's also on simulated games and the database. So in a double click on the table, you can search from the add table panel in the right, and this should be displayed on the list of the field, the table, and will out screen. And also you can select the field that you wanted to use the query. You will need to choose. Okay, so the field that you wanted to use the query, the field that you want to display the result in the query. Okay, that are things. Okay, you can see when you are insert data into the query, it display like a table. Okay, in the query, you can create a table inside there. For table, there are having several fields. So you can select what is the primary key of the field. Okay, like here. Here is something like database. So, like in the database, in the figure, this one 2.18, we have to choose what? The genre field in the query that called what? Primary key, the game name and age rated to display as the result. It can be displayed as a result that game name and what age can be rated in the display as a result. You can either select this by double clicking on the field name in the list. So, or you can use the drop down box in the table structure on the bottom of the screen. So, for like here, you can do like that. What should you do? Now, you can what? You have to choose the gender field of the query. That's with the specific field and the game name and the age ready display result. So here, select these by double clicking, okay, that field name and the list, and you can use a drop down box. They are having a drop down box like it. They are selecting, and you can select the bottom of the screen. Clear? Like that one. They are the things. Okay, write it. And also, they are having a what? At the criteria for the query, they are having option that calling at a criteria for query row button of the screen. And also make sure that have show box is ticked, otherwise that data is will not be appeared. If you are not ticked on the show button, the data that data selected data we enter data cannot be displayed there. Okay, so make sure you have to what? Put the tick button, the right button, okay, on the boxes. It should be compulsory, the tick button on the box. Okay, if there are not tick that dot, the display data will not be displayed there. Okay, right. Okay, right, write it. Right. Yes. Right. Quickly. Okay. Yes. Can I like this? Okay. That are the things you have to follow it up. Okay. Yes. So they are having two ways to resolve the query. You can change from the design view to database view by clicking the view button on the top left corner home tab, or you can select what run next and view button. Okay. And you will be now see all the data in the table that meets your search criteria. Like that one, they are having two ways. I don't write that one. Okay. Okay, they are having two ways that can be seen on the databases. There can be have two ways that can be seen the data on the databases. Okay. So like that one. Now already you are creating computer games access data file. So you can edit that query or something like that. They are having lot of things. And also they are having at some conditions. What can we do? There can be filter, some condition. I wanted to display only age more than 10 years. I wanted to display only what prices is more than 200. Like that one, you cannot filter something. What can you do? You can filter is something. For that one, you can use some letters. You can use the what greater than mark, and you can what less than mark under that one. Like that one, there can be used some condition with that one. So what is that? So write down this one using less than mark or greater than mark. So you can use less than mark or greater than mark when you are using letters too. You already know alphabetic order, the English language used in the Roman alphabet. So alphabet order you already know. So no need. Okay, alphabet order you already know. You can write according to that order. They are running that program according to that order. So there can be what? You see less than or will take you what? Nearer to beginning alphabet order and greater than use end of that means last things If you want to display first things, you can use less than. If you wanted to use last thing, you can use greater than marks. There are two options, less than mark and the greater than mark. If you want to display first things, you can use less than mark. If you want to display last thing, you can use greater than. That two will be running out there. Okay. That two should be running with that one. Okay, is that clear? Can you write? Yes. There are two conditions, less than mark and greater than mark. Okay, write down. There are two conditions like that, less than mark and the greater than mark. Okay, write it. Okay, write it. Okay, you can write. These are the order that can be following up. It can be less than mark or greater than mark, can be running up with that dot. Okay. There can be running greater than mark. Otherwise, there can be running less than mark. So please remember when you search in UC letters, you need to put double quotation under that one. Okay. So always remember when you are searching using letters, put double quotation mark under the letters. Okay. Write that one also. you have to put double quotation mark. Okay, now I wanted to search something from here. Okay, I wanted to search something from here. Here the actual table. Here the table. I wanted to filter what? Player name less than D. Less than D. What are the name? C, A, C. It display only that thing. Is that clear? It display only less than C. What are the C, A, B, C? So it display according to filtering according to that one. Is that clear? That's the thing we have to following up when you are filtering according to condition. Okay, at home you can write this table and filtering thing. At home you can write this table and filtering thing with you. Okay, can you write down this table? And I think they are having some time. Okay, you start right now until end of the period. You can write this table and here the query according to that one. You can display result like that. Okay, you can display result like that. Okay, can you try to do that one right now? Okay, write it now. I think they are having some time. So I will wind up for today. Okay, you can write this table right now. Okay, so I will wind up. You can write. Okay, so good afternoon, all of you. Yes, good afternoon, all. See you on the next day. Okay, okay, good afternoon. Write down this. Okay, good afternoon.